So away from Ireland, New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis, which took place on the Sunday morning, Irish time anyway. So some really interesting matches now. So like it's like really like in particular, like there's a lot of there seems like the Bullet Club story in particular is dominating a lot of what's going on there as well. But there were some awesome matches in this card.
For sure. Something that I haven't gotten to sit down and see either. I know I'm absolutely terrible for it.
No.
Sorry. Bullet Club is definitely taking the brunt of the storyline and news-wise at the moment, and obviously it's going to come full circle this weekend. But it wasn't just Bullet Club. It was also, of course, with the main event, including two different factions of Chaos and Suzuki Gun coming up against each other with Sabre Jr. and Okada. And of course, probably not have to mention the match that has taken all the headlines this week because of how good it was. Ospreay and Marty Scurll too.
Absolutely. We'll get onto that in a bit, but first of all, we'll go through some of the other matches as well. The Young Bucks, in another part of this whole Bullet Club Civil War angle, took on Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi, where it's still part of that war because here's Owens who's on Okada's, who's on Omega's side, and has really started tagging with Ibushi while Omega is away, but Matt is still wearing the weightlifting belts, while interesting enough Nick isn't.
Yeah.
So it's still, it seems like they're torn. They're still on the same page. Obviously, they're still with each other, but like they still divide on who are there. Like before the match, they talked and exchanged handshakes, and before it was Yujiro and Owens that got on the way. It was an awesome match, actually. Very good opener. It was the Bucks with the rebound win, obviously after the loss to the Golden Lovers. And Matt is still selling his back injury. It continues to be an issue. Like, so I love how, like, if he's really injured, like, fair play to him continuing on, and if he's not, my God, is he selling it well. Yeah. So either way, it's commitments either way.
For sure. They are both, obviously the back issues have been going on for a while. It's been playing into the being the elite storyline as well as all the in-ring storylines for a while. So, this shows why these guys are one of the best tag teams in the world.
Absolutely.
I won't say the best because
one of the best.
Obviously, there's some other tag teams that have claimed that throne, that want to claim that throne as their own as well.
Definitely top three.
Yeah.
Nick saved Mac from the package pile driver, but the Bucks hit super kicks, and then Matt locked in the sharpshooter. Nick then wiped out Yujiro as Owens taps, and they all shook hands afterwards. So at least they're on the same page with the whole thing, but it still seems like the whole situation is more so between Cody and Omega, which obviously is going to come full circle at Ring of Honor, as we mentioned. Now, the team of Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii took on the Suzuki Gun team of Taichi, who's moved up to heavyweight recently. He's no longer a junior heavyweight. And Iizuka, who's basically doing the... I love his gimmick. He's doing the Bruiser Brody. Have you ever seen Bruiser Brody before? Now, Bruiser Brody was a wrestler who's an American wrestler, but was world famous in Japan, who had a very similar gimmick where he would go through the crowd, swinging a chain, almost hitting people with it. Yeah. Unlike Iizuka, he doesn't have bodyguards holding him back or anything like that. He hasn't got Kimaro or El Desperado trying to hold him back or something like that. He's basically gone wild around the whole thing. Okay. Basically emptying an arena and stuff like that. So, but like, it was this was not the. Some people say this was a kind of a weird match, like in the sense that, like, I think because Iizuka is a character that probably is too pretentious, one could argue. Okay. Yeah, so personally, I think it was a good match, entertaining as always. There's no such thing as a boring Toru Yano match, let's put it that way. I find them incredibly entertaining.
That is very true.
It was Yano who fought off Iizuka's Iron Fingers. He has his Iron Finger, which he uses to hit people. It's like his version of nunchucks. But Taichi breaks it up and tosses the ref down. Low blow from Yano, lariat from Ishii, and Yano rolls up Iizuka for the win. We'll move on from that. The team of Guerrillas of Destiny and Bad Luck Fale defended the Never six-man tag team titles against Michael Elgin, Toga Makabe, and Rusaku Taguchi. Apparently, I found out why Bad Luck Fale goes after the announcers. It was mentioned on commentary because Bad Luck Fale 9 years ago was announced by announcer as Tama Tonga. And he
Okay.
And he hasn't forgotten or forgiven them since. That makes perfect sense.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
No, believe me, and I mean this with all disrespect. If I was a wrestler and I was announced as Darren Mara, I'd go after the announcer.
Now, you'd be lucky to be announced.
No. If I was announced as Darren Mara, or if you were announced as Dave Cullen, you'd be mad at the announcer, wouldn't
you? No, Dave, because I think it would be a great compliment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point is, it's not my name. You know? But that makes perfect sense. It was a perfectly solid match. Like, you know, I think the GOD and Spotted Folly are terrific 6-man tag team champs. They make a great team, like Bullet Club OGs. In the end, it was it all broke down until Taguchi hit his ass attack and a 619 on Toga, but then Toga hit his gun stun for the win to retain the titles. Now, David Finlay, Juice Robinson, and Hiroshi Tanahashi took on Goto, Jay White, and Yoshihashi. This is a build-up between Juice Robinson and Hiroki Goto. Now we talked about Juice Robinson being saved for will he be saved for the US title? He's actually going for the never openweight title against Hiroki Goto, whereas Dave Finlay's going for the US title. So it builds both those matches up going into Wrestling Dotaku that's coming up as the next show. And by God, it seems like Finlay can't stand the sights of Jay White all of a sudden, because he goes after him crazy
so close,
fist.
though. That's the crazy thing.
I know, like something fires them up, I think. So, like, it must have been something to do when they're in excursion or something like that. Like, because they're very close when they were young boys, I think. So
yeah,
it goes to show
they
you.
just took different paths. That's it.
But it was a good match, and it sets up a good sense of urgency and good interaction for both rivalries. In the end, it was a stunner on White, and they roll to the floor, but then Juice hits the pup friction on Goto, and he rolls to the floor. Then Tanahashi hits the high-five flow on Hashi for the win there.
Yeah.
Now, continuing on, the team of Sonata, Evil, and Suya Naito took on Minoru Suzuki, Lance Archer, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. This is all to set up Suzuki versus Naito for the Intercontinental title, and LIJ, Sonata and Evil against Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith for the tag titles. All these matches are coming in. This had a very funny moment at the intro, where Davey Boy Smith Jr., when he's introduced in the ring, did have sort of like a strange flip in the corner.
Yeah.
Before he was introduced, which is kind of strange, because like he's the type of guy you wouldn't imagine flipping.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to imagine.
Davey Boy Smith Jr.
And I can't.
On introduction, and then he does a big flex.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's probably going to be on one of those videos, but it's very funny. And again, it was another good match. It sets up the both rivalries. In the end, it was Evil who saved the Killer Elite Squad from pinning Sonata, but then they hit the Killer Bomb on him for the win. And post-match, it was Naito who cut a promo calling Suzuki out for the IC title match and telling him that if he wants to fight to get into the ring, obviously gone all tranquilo as he does. Suzuki called Naito a piece of S and then proclaimed himself as the king of pro wrestling. Suzuki then killed a young lion before telling him to tranquilo. What's his average at this stage? 2 point something?
I say it's going closer to 3 now.
Something like
the
that.
Amount that he's doing.
The IWGP Junior Tag Team titles between the defending champions El Desperado and Kane Maro defending against Roppongi 3K and Bushi and Hiromu Takahashi from LIJ. This is a good match though. I enjoyed it because for me, like, a lot of people are arguing that why can't it just be between Suzuki Gun and LIJ, because some are thinking why would because having 3K in it kind of spoils the dynamic because it's a 3-way match, but I'm thinking no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it worked for when it was Grizz of Destiny, War Machine, and Killer Elite Squads in the heavyweight tag team division, and I think it just needs to it'll get better as it goes along. Like, so I think it's the first time to do it, but if you do it more often, maybe it can work.
Possibly. I think when you mention the 3 teams, the GOD, Killer Elite Squad, and War Machine, they got a lot of criticism because they kept having matches in such a short space of time. Because I think it was 3 televised New Japan big shows, and that was the match. And the title kept changing over during that.
Oh, I see.
So I don't like. The thing is, we were only saying a couple of weeks ago that the junior tag team division didn't have any teams in it.
Yeah,
because it was the Young Bucks, and now the Young Bucks are gone. Obviously, Roppongi 3K are involved in it now, and so it's right that the more they have to start building these other teams.
Yeah.
So putting them all in the match helps build them and helps get them all there as title contenders.
You can make a shout as well that they could have Roppongi 3K, including Rocky Romero, going for the 6-man titles as well. I'm not sure about that.
You could, but I still think they're needed more in the junior tag team.
That's a good point, yeah. In the end, though, it was Ibushi hit a suicide dive and Takahashi grabbed Sho and gets the time bomb for 2. The Blu-ray followed the time bomb again, but Kmart pulled out the referee. Desperado in with a belt shot, and the pinch loco on Sho followed for the win for that match. Now, one of the most talked about matches of the whole weekend for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Defending champion Will Ospreay against Marty Scurll, with Kushida in Japanese commentary. But by God, what really impressed me about this match is how slick Ospreay's counter technical wrestling has gotten. At one stage, they had a standoff, and Marty was so puzzled. Like, where does this come from? Like, because that's his bread and butter historically against Ospreay. Yeah, he slows down the pace.
British chain style wrestling, yeah.
But the point is, it slows down Ospreay's fast pace to his advantage. That's why he's notoriously more used to that. But it seems like now Ospreay, it shows his development of him developing to technical wrestling point of view as well. Yeah. But there were so many good spots in this match. Just like, obviously there's one that stands out straight away.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the show, but I definitely saw that spot where Ospreay landed on his head from the Spanish Fly.
Oh my God! But there was one stage, like the other spots included, where like he came in with neck trouble anyway. But he hit a springboard attack and a standing shooting star for 2. Other spots, like, you know, obviously, like Marty countered a DDT, Ospreay countered a chicken wing into a stunner, boat her down, like but that Spanish Fly was absolutely, like, you know, and then I don't even know how to describe it. It was just so, I can't believe he didn't break his neck off that. Where it was off the apron, but he caught his head on the way down and busted himself open, and so that was just so nasty.
Yeah, the fact that he busted himself open as well, sure, that was
crazy. But he just got straight back up and then a corkscrew shooting star press. So, like, that's how mad he is, like, you know. It really was. Like, in the end, though, it was Marty who was trying to attack the fingers and hit a super kick and stomped the bejesus out of Ospreay's neck and heads. Almost killed the poor guy. And then got the chicken wing, and that's how he won the title at Ring of Honor, the TV title. But this time, Ospreay barely made the rope.
Yeah.
Marty hit a neck breaker driver, but Ospreay countered out of the tombstone into a stunner before hitting the Oz Cutter for the win. Let's put it this way: it was Easter Sunday, and it was Will Ospreay instead of Jesus on the cross. Literally, the man had a death sentence on himself in that match. But this is one of those matches that you never get bored of, especially since they both seem to be improving. Certainly Ospreay, like, it's like one of these matches where it's like a Kevin Owens sort of against Sami Zayn sort of thing. You can never get bored of that match. Yeah, and it's like this one, and it shows how well rounded now Ospreay's become as a performer. Like, but God bless him, like, he must have the attacks were vicious. Probably the most brutal match we've ever seen between the two as well. Like, if you haven't seen it yet, you really should check it out, though, because it was absolute fantastic match, excellent showing.
Yeah,
it broke the formula from their previous matches as well, like, because, like, in terms of aggressiveness and obviously the well-roundedness of Ospreay, as I mentioned, and it proved once and for all that Ospreay beating Scurll wasn't a fluke. So that's the first one-on-one victory that Ospreay has had over Marty Scurll ever. So it goes to show you.
Marty Scurll was the bogey man in terms of bogey team, and he's finally broken that mold, and I can't wait for a rematch for sure.
Then Ospreay, almost close to death, made a post-match promo calling out Kushida, saying he wants to prove to everyone that he's no fluke and wants to face off one more time, and Kushida then nods acceptance, gave him a thumbs up and clapped for Ospreay. So it looks like it'll be down the line as well, and that's an opponent he's had a bit of a bogey record with as well, like, because he only beats Kushida recently to win his first title.
Yeah.
So he
lost some at the Best of the Super Juniors as well in the final last year. So.
Yeah, so he lost 3 or 4 matches in a row against him. So he wants to break that, or at least put his dominance on that now, if you like.
Yeah.
Now the Golden Lovers against Cody and Hangman Page, again part of the whole Bullet Club Civil War. Apparently it's going to be Ibushi against Hangman Page at Ring of Honor. Did you know that? Yeah, as well as Cody and Omega.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That was announced just last week, actually.
Cody plays the heel so well, the Code, because even when it looked like Cody and Omega at the start, he ponders off and getting the start and trying to avoid everyone straight away. So it works so well, like so. But like obviously the spot we have to talk about in this one, like where it wasn't just Ospreay who cut himself, it was also Cody, and a nasty one at that as well.
Yeah, it was a kick, wasn't it?
What happened was it was like Omega hit a spin kick, catching Okada in the eye. And then Page cut Omega open before knocking Ibushi to the floor, and he was busted up bad. Like it was literally
there was
a crimson
slit
mess
on the eye. Yeah, the blood everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't know if you've seen this yourself, but did you see Disco Inferno have a go at him over this?
Called him out.
Over something that for me doesn't make sense.
No, he was saying that like
they don't know how to work anymore.
Yeah, because they're risking their bodies for cheap pops and stuff like that, and Cody pretty much just put him back in his place afterwards, saying, look, listen, you really can't say anything. No one has ever talked about you ever. Made light on the fact that he was made light on the fact of his steroid abuse, I think, at one stage.
I don't think he mentioned that, no.
No, I think there was one tweet. I think someone else did, sorry, it might not have been Cody.
Even Conan reached his defense, like saying, well, it's a different way to work. It's not work and play. It's not work comparing, like, you know, so.
Exactly, and it's a perfect example of how, say, the likes of this, like, I don't know a lot about Disco Inferno. He was a mid-card champion a couple of times. I saw in his bio on Twitter. So I guess he was never really the top guy, but like, I think you last long in the industry because you're able to evolve and move with the times. Obviously, this is something that this guy couldn't do, and that's why he doesn't wrestle anymore.
He made a name for himself in WCW back in the day, like so. Yeah. That was then. This is now, I guess. So, but like, but again, it was an awesome match between the two of them. Because it played off this feud very well. Not only Cody was not busted as Sin in the ring, but he once again killed it in terms of his character work. His character work is spotless. He's easily the most hated wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, he's the biggest heel in wrestling.
Not even close, like, you know. And even the short angle with the Young Bucks involved as well, where they're like, "What's going on? This has gone far enough. Like, do you need to continue this?" I think I'm not sure what the spot was. I think it was when. Oh, what was it? There was a spot involving the Bucks. Oh yeah, it was when it looked like he was going to put Omega through a table and the Bucks were out, and Cody was like, "What are you here for?" And you shouldn't be here. And then the Bucks refused to shake their hands, and they both walked off. So not just Nick Jackson, who has more of an issue with Cody, but Matt Jackson as well. Yeah. So it would have been cool if they just threw the weightlifting.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming soon, and I'm loving the build up for this. We might see it tonight at Supercard of Honor,
possibly. Can't wait for that, actually.
No, I can't wait either. So much good wrestling this week.
Absolutely. In the end, it was Cody who avoided a knee strike. Ibushi hit the German, looked for it again, but Page distracted them, and Cody rolled up Ibushi with the help of the tights for the win. And again, perfect heats. Exactly. It really was. And the main event, Kazuchika Okada defending the IWGP Heavyweight title against New Japan Cup winner Zack Sabre Jr. Apparently, and this is an interesting backstory gone into this match, Okada only has submitted once in his career, and that was, of course, to Shinsuke Nakamura 3 years ago to an armbar. He's never submitted order to that. But it gets very interesting as this match goes along. But this match was like a picture-perfect technical wrestling exhibition from Zack Sabre Jr. If you want to look at a textbook of how to revert the counter wrestling, this is. If you want to see an example of how good technical wrestling can get, this is your play-by-play here, because it was beautiful to watch. It seems like everything Okada did at one stage, Sabre had an answer for. And to the point where Okada seemed frustrated at times because he was trying to overpower, but even then he had an answer. Yeah, he didn't need to overpower him because he's a smaller man, but he's so technically sound. Yeah, like there's nothing else he could do. And it was just like submission after submission, like, you know, and even the variation, like even the counters of the. Like where he tried to attack the Rainmaker arm, so there was strategy in it as well, which made it so much more interesting. But submissions like muffs, like stretch muffler / triangles, guillotines, kimuras, like it was endless until so Okada, like, he really had his work cut out for him. But what made this match particularly, oh my god, is when Okada, his Rainmaker was countered by the armbar, out of the way, then Nakamura submitted him, and it looked like he was going to tap out, and then it turned into a triangle, but he desperate. He got out into a power bomb and hit a desperation rainmaker again. He got the third one for an octopus hold, but locked both arms. Like can you imagine an octopus stretch where both arms are like behind your back like that?
Yeah.
Nasty, but in the end he countered out, hit the tombstone, rainmaker was over. But this was a fantastic match because it was basically Okada being stretched to death by lucha style submissions.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know what more you need to say about.
It's a perfect New Japan
Zack
match.
Sabre Jr. I don't know. The chap is unbelievable,
incredible,
and obviously we heard from the end of OTT this week that he's going to be in the main event of Scrappermania.
Indeed, which should be
against
awesome.
Jordan Devlin, and it's going to be incredible. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see this in person.
Yeah, but again, like I loved this match from top to bottom, like, you know, and I loved that the little nudge in the end over can he submit him like Nakamura like submitted him so. But like this puts say like even though he lost, this puts Sabre Jr. stock so high. I imagine he'll do very well in the G1 this year.
Yeah,
so well, because I think he's a made man after this. And of course, the win also means that Okada has now equals the record for title defenses as IWGP Heavyweight Champion, equaling the record set by Hiroshi Tanahashi. Post-match, Gato puts over Okada and asks who's left for Okada. The crowd chants for Tanahashi, and who arrives?
The man who you correctly claimed would last week.
Tanahashi.
Yep.
Because this is a match I think that's been coming in the way, because they haven't actually had a proper match in 2 years.
Yeah.
And when you think of how amazing their rivalry is, for me it's a rivalry of the decade in all of pro wrestling. And he congratulates the tying the record, but he says he's the only challenger and he will be the one to stop Okada's run and stop him from breaking the records. That I cannot wait to see. Like, you know, and again, that we go back to talking about how Ospreay and Skrull have such great matches together. You never get bored of it. Yeah. This is another matchup of Okada and Tanahashi. It's one of those matches that always will give you a classic. On any circumstances, on any storyline, on any way of life. It's something I can't wait. And it's going to be at Wrestling Don Taku as well. So a lot of awesome shows, matches coming up for that now. So New Japan is getting so good.
New Japan is always
it
good.
Always was good.
It's always good.
But lately,
yeah,
it's on their stratosphere. It's out of this It's out of this world, man. I
know. I've got to make the effort to watch more of it. But when there's so much wrestling and there's only so many hours in the day, I've got to be selective. Now that WrestleMania season's over,
yeah,
and the first couple of weeks after WrestleMania, I'll cut back into WWE, and then I'll be able to watch more of the New Japan stuff and get better accustomed, so then we can have some proper debate on it. And I can't just agree with everything you say because I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I'm describing it for you, which in the meantime is the best we can do.
You've got me hyped for it, so it's a good description.
Indeed.